Nick, it officially says we're live. Welcome to Sweet Tea with Emily.
Emily, man, so I've watched a few of these.
Good.
I'm
Thank you
excited
for
to be a
saying
part of one. It seems to give me every day it comes on. What is it, Wednesday? Today's
that.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday at noon. You got it.
um, gives me that kind of motivation to get through the rest of the day. So happy to be a part of it.
Nick, I am so glad that you're my guest, and we're going to talk about this being all things insurance today. And for those that don't care anything about insurance, I'd actually recommend even staying and watching, probably even more so for you. But before we dive into that, Nick, what can I get you to drink?
It's coconut water right now, but early afternoon it's going to switch to coconut Red Bull
Oh,
because it's time to get back after it, and you got to make that switch to caffeine at some point. So coconut water, coconut Red Bull in about an hour.
goodness. I'm the
And you?
opposite.
What do you got today?
I just finished my V8 energy, and so now I'm on to my orange juice, trying to boost up my vitamin C. Yep, that's exactly what
That was earlier today.
yeah. I was volunteering in my kids' class yesterday, and I am so overstimulated and been coughed on so much that I am all about vitamin C today.
Yeah, we did trick or treating till way past we should have last night, till 9 o'clock. So that's why it calls for a V8 and a Red Bull today. So I'm happy.
Well, hopefully our audience can understand candy hangover, but that's not why they came here. They came here to meet Nick. Nick, I have not had, I don't think, any insurance guests on yet. And the reason why I'm excited for this conversation today is because you and I are both pretty heavily in insurance, more so you than me,
Sure.
but it's a slippery slope and I'm getting there fast. How in the world did this happen, Nick?
Yeah,
Tell me your story.
I love it because we deal with insurance professionals all day long, and it's always like, how did you? Everyone's got a unique story and how they ended up in insurance. No one was like 12 years old and said, "I'm going to work in insurance for the rest of my life," right? So it's always a unique story. Mine's not an exception. I actually worked. The family business was running political campaigns, and I ran 22 of them, and including some of the
Including my
Rushton
husband.
family. Yeah, right, right.
Actually, more than once, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
you did run more
I got to
recently.
up that number. I think it's 23 now. So yeah, I ran 23 political campaigns, worked in federal Congress. Man, got so burned out doing doing political campaigns that I finally was trying to find a way into a different industry. And Karen Maine, Senator Karen Maine from West Valley, she said, help me on my campaign, and I promise you I'll find you a job that's not in politics. I'm like, all right, I'm in. She just happens to write all of the workers' comp law here in Utah. She was great at it. So she called WCF, and come to find out what we were doing in politics, which was targeting, messaging, sales, really translated well into what we do in insurance. Figure out the right person, talk to them with the right message, and then how to keep on the sales scenario. And I loved it. I loved workers' comp. Mallory, my wife, had to put her arm on my shoulder multiple times and be like, people don't care about workers' comp like you care about workers' comp. But, you can really change the trajectory of some businesses by just making it like workers' comp is the most controllable line of business that you have in insurance. So I learned to be a student of my trade. My trade was insurance and workers' comp, and just learned to love it and embrace it. And come to find out, there's a huge demand for experts in insurance, and you get good at it, and you seem to always have a great job for the rest of your life.
Oh my goodness. You
Yeah,
you you hit on two things. First of all, you campaign managers are like the best entrepreneur salespeople I know because it's tight deadlines, it's scalable activity, it's meaningful messaging, it's tracking, so Nick, like incredible skill set that I feel could have translated so well. Good for our friend Senator Karen Maine, who's fantastic. And I know she's your godmother. She's a dear friend. Like, she's incredible. But I think the other thing that you touched on is just the supply and demand, particularly in many industries, but right now, really the insurance industry. And before I started helping a lot of insurance clients, and that list keeps growing, I will always be thankful for PCF. They are still my client today, and they are the ones that took the chance on me. And Karen and workers' compensation took a chance on you. But there's a major supply and demand like problem right now in insurance.
Indeed. Yeah.
So like, tell me what you're doing now in insurance, and then we're going to pivot to like, how can we adapt more people into this industry? We're going to go there, but tell me what you're doing now in insurance.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I work for USI Insurance. They are a large, privately owned kind of national brokerage. They broker insurance rather than being like a captive insurance agent. And we focus exclusively on very large business. So it's been great for me because the conversations that we're having are with very sophisticated buyers, people who understand our industry, understand our lingo. It's been really, really great to kind of work in that space. It can be overwhelming, especially like when someone's new to the industry and they're talking to that business owner for the first time, right? They're trying to get in the door. It can be overwhelming. But it's I don't have the secret sauce. Relationships. It seems like whatever you do, if you can build your relationships to a point to where you gain trust, you gain respect as a student in your field. It gets you indoors. So it's really, starting with some of those relationships that I had when I was running campaigns, and kind of using them to get warm intros and build relationships. That's what makes it fun. It's the people that make it fun, right? Running into you, we were on your husband's campaign. We drove in the car. I almost had to stop the car and turn around and say, "Wait, you're working in insurance too?" Because you think you're alone. You're the only person that really cares about it. But no, it's the relationships that make you get up in the morning and really have skin in the game and make you care about what you do.
That's right. Nick, you speak to my soul in the way of like believing so much in an industry, caring about it, being so principle driven to the point that poor Mallory, your wife, Corey, my husband, they're frequently like, you care about this 1,000% more than others. Let's just like reset, take a deep breath. But like, you're my guy. Like, I'll frequently come to Nick and be like, I just need advice. Can you introduce me to this person? I always want to return that favor. Like, even though I don't work with you directly yet, be careful, I'm coming after you.
Sure.
Even though I don't work with you directly yet, like, I feel like there's still a way that we can help each other. And you so much take this approach with your relationships. Who are, I know we talked about Karen a lot.
Yeah.
Who are some other kind of mentors? Like, tell me how you navigate a really complex industry, because the learning curve is crazy.
Sure. Yeah. So no, when I started in the industry, my first boss, his name's Chris Swenson. He's my current boss. I've actually followed him from WCF to USI. He took interest in me, and I leaned upon him for my growth. I had the desire to be good at this. But I needed someone to mentor me. And Chris Swenson, he was a VP at WCF, and then when he came over to USI to be the president of USI, I was his first hire. And still to this day, in life or in insurance, if I need someone to lean on, I need a sounding board. Chris has been that for me, and it's because of my background. Obviously, Brandon Dew. Brandon Dew with the operating engineers has always been that same kind of thing. Like you pull for good people, even when you don't work with them anymore. Even in some case, like, PCF, I've had a chance to work with PCF. They have great people involved, and you pull for good people, even when they're your competitors. It's just healthy for the heart, right? It's healthy for your heart, for good people to succeed in this world. So it's I'll get calls from sometimes my competition, and they'll ask me, "Hey, I need work comp advice. Can you do it?" And I always give them what I can. It's because I look, if your heart's in the right place, you pull for good people, it's just going to be healthier for you in the long run.
Oh, Nick, I so believe in that. I once a quarter I meet up with staffing owners, and we're all competitors, and we have gotten in the room for one day, 10 hours. We'll screen share, we'll show a new technology that's helping us. We'll talk about a client that maybe, didn't mesh well with me, but really needs to be introduced to another person. I mean, we lay it all out on the table. Now, we don't force people to talk about trade secrets and things that is going to hurt our book of business. We're self-aware in the way of
Sure.
knowing what is appropriate in the way of elevating the industry and not like taking down or hurting my company. But that comes with a lot of trust, and we all end up elevating the industry and growing our business as a result of it. There's more than enough business to go around, folks.
It's true. It's true. No, I mean, sure, insurance agents, commercial insurance agents like me, sometimes they get a bad rap, and we're very competitive. I'm a former college hockey player, so I love to get a little gritty, get a little elbow in there, but at the end of the day, if we're helping the industry and good people are succeeding and we're creating a better reputation for the true professionals in our industry, it's gonna be good in the long run. So, I went to graduate school. I was studying international business at the University of Utah, and a lot of my colleagues, they were going into investment banking or they were going in to property management. And I'll tell you, we found it like this is a great niche for people who have a desire to find a new industry. You can support a family in great ways, right? We've seen people be wildly successful, and that you can get in at a time where there's not a lot of competition. So you can get in, learn the industry, and man, I'm so grateful for Care in Maine because I'll be able to provide a good life for my children because of the returns this industry can have. They're great returns.
I know. Before I really started working with insurance clients, and like I said, that list keeps growing because of the supply and demand issues. Before I started working with insurance, outside looking in, it's not a sexy industry, and I really didn't understand it other than it was a necessary evil. And a lot of people talk negatively because the only time we're talking about insurance is when you've had a horrible experience as a consumer, right? Man, Nick, like working in insurance, especially if you are on the producer side, sales side, you enjoy relationships, and even sales has negative connotation, right? Like you're selling something to someone that they really don't need for your lining your own pockets. Like there's a lot of negative connotations when you throw sales and insurance, but like it's a necessary evil. And if you can help someone navigate a really complex industry, you get rewarded really well for that, and you end up helping people that need your help. And there's not a lot of people that want to do it right now. More people are exiting the industry than entering the industry.
It's true.
How do we get people like us to come into the industry?
Yeah, we have to put it on people's radar. I'll tell you, I love what you said there, because where I get value in my job is, let's just say it's, 8 a.m. Monday morning, that first call from a business owner who's asking for my advice on jobs they should be bidding, feeling like that trusted advisor, right? That they really value. This is a very complicated industry. I'm a student of it. I can say I'm not an expert. I'm always going to be a student. We always have to be learning. It's hard. I've been focused on this for over a decade, and I don't know everything. I have to focus myself on learning every day. And these companies, when they're trying to make their insurance decisions, they try to become an expert in like 2 weeks, and it can't be done. You have to find a great broker who's a student of the industry, who can be that trusted advisor. And as that person, that's where you get the value in your job, right? But what we got to do to recruit new people is just put it on their radar early. I don't think people even have the insurance industry kind of in their mind when they're contemplating what they're going to do. But if they could spend a few days and see how it works and see the impact we're making on some of these large businesses, I think we would probably have much more people coming in than we do now. Because you're right, there's a huge shortage, and it's really going to put the industry in a bad place in a year or two.
That's right. So, and a lot of the principals, the owners, are looking to retire. Like they want to mentor someone. They are very giving of their time. They want to make sure that their agency or their book of business is really handed off in a methodical way that sometimes, in most cases, is going to take years. So I think the thing that you had that I think really helped you is you actually had relationships coming into this business. And you understood, like I talk about it every single week, like building a connection, like knowing that you need to give something in order to ask, and there's an elevation of the industry as a whole that if you can see beyond just today and look until tomorrow, like you will get so much more return, and the person that you're working with will feel the same way. I guess here's my plea is that anyone that's watching this now or in the future, if you want flexibility, you want high income earnings, you have relationships, you get energy from people, you like going to events, you like connecting people and introducing them, like we can introduce you to a mentor and you can have like $1 million earnings a year plus and really have high satisfaction, not just financially, but just from connecting people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm the type of person, if I had to sit behind my computer screen all day long, I would go crazy. My most valuable time of my week is when I'm not at my desk, when I'm out just creating relationships. The best relationships, the only ones that work, are mutually beneficial when both sides get benefit from the relationship. So you have to figure out what those relationships are and do your 50% to add value to that relationship, right? So yeah, it's my favorite part of the job is going out and either strengthening the relationships that I have or creating new ones. It's so great. And if you're that type of person who doesn't like to sit behind the desk all day long, you want to get out and talk to people, interact, man, this industry is great for that.
Oh, good. Well, Nick, we're coming up on the 20-minute mark. Everyone that watches these say, Emily, shorter is better. And I'm not short.
I agree.
But I will say this, I'm going to go into lightning round right now as we wrap up the next minute or two. And usually I try to give my guests a heads up as the questions I'm going to ask them. Poor Nick, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Bring it.
Best networking group in Utah or insurance? Give me both that comes to mind right now.
The Big I for insurance. They do a lot. I've met a lot of people through the Big I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big I. What about Utah? Any other general or insurance related events or?
WCF has a 51% market share, and they have great kind of councils and meetings, safety meetings. WCF is a great way to network with other people.
Love it. Any social media account out there you recommend us following? It could be LinkedIn, Instagram. Who are you following? Who are you staying up late and losing?
Oh, man. I have a tendency to go down rabbit holes. But anyone in particular?
I know. Totally.
Nothing comes to mind, but man.
Oh, you can throw it back to me if you like.
Yeah, that's right. What about you?
Well, Nate Randall, everyone's talking about him. And there's a reason. There's a reason everyone's talking about that guy. He uses his platform to shed light on others. He uses it to have a community feel of everyone pitching a couple of bucks, helping someone out, getting folks that need to be employed really amazing jobs. Like that's when you're doing something right as a CEO, is when you're just talking about others. And it's such a good example for me. I love it.
Yeah.
He gets shout outs all the time, but the guy deserves every bit of it. Nate, I'm coming for you. I was supposed to visit him today, but he's going to be doing an international trip. So we decided to reschedule so I could get more time with him. All right. Last question, Nick. Well, I'm going to ask you two. It's a two-part question.
Okay.
What you love about your job and what you don't like about your job or the industry. And let's start with what you don't like, so we end on a high note.
Okay. So what I don't like is sometimes it can be really time demanding.
Yeah.
There'll be times when I'm at like Disneyland with my family and I get a call from a client. The expectation is I need to take that call. And honestly, luckily we've set parameters with my family. It's like, look, when certain people call, I have to be there all the time, and I pride myself on telling them, if you call, I will answer.
And Mallory and your family are so sweet and supportive of you. And
They
so
are indeed. She deserves a shout out.
oh
Absolutely.
my gosh, you married
Yeah.
up. So good. All right. Tell us what you love about it, and we'll finish on a high note.
I like to compete. Honestly, there are times I just know if I come to work and I put in the time, I come in a little early, I stay a little late, and I can win a big account because of it. I just like to compete. I want to win or lose. I just like to be in the competition. So,
Dude, those athletes, I'm telling you, they're at least you have your teeth. I usually don't go after hockey players.
yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah.
but you still kept your teeth.
Uh,
All right, USI, I'm coming for you.
yes, Emily,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for what you do. These are great. Give me that motivation every week. Keep it up. I really appreciate what you do here.
Oh, Nick, I'm so glad I had you on. I'll talk with you soon. Definitely before the holidays, okay?
All right, sounds good.